All right, Shalom, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Hakwadash. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of you, and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom. Uh, this lesson is based off of what I was watching. Just a quick clip. I didn't watch the whole video of the Apostle Gabar and Bishop Sakaran on their Tuesday, Tuesday live, and the apostle had mentioned misogyny, which is the hatred of women. I have the etymology right here, but this is usually attributed to men, but it's women that hate each other. And I have a few scriptures to back that up, but hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. Just to jump right into it, this is Sirach chapter 42, and I'll start at verse 11, and this is in the Good News translation. And it says, "Keep a close watch over your daughter if she be determined to have her own way." So if you have daughters, which I don't have children, but hey, this is sound advice. The scriptures were written for our learning. Because look at the women of our time today. They're completely wild. Completely out of control. But keep a close watch over your daughter if she is determined to have her own way. If you don't, she may make a fool of you in front of your enemies. And so, today, I don't have daughters, but you see how many women are on, different websites like OnlyFans or showing off their bodies and things like this. This is an embarrassment. Here it is. You're posting yourself for every man to see, and then even some of them for everyone to see, even including other women. They're completely out there. They've been given too much liberty. They've been given too much freedom to where they're abusing themselves through this freedom. So if you don't, she may make a fool of you in front of your enemies. You will be a constant joke to everyone in town, a public disgrace. Make sure that her room has no windows or any place where she can look out to the entrance of the house. So you gotta have your daughter locked down pretty much. Because look at you can just look around today. Look at the people of today. Don't let her show off her beauty in front of men or spend her time talking with the women. So you're not supposed to let her. She's supposed to be covered up. Here it is. They are showing their goods, their beauty to all men, all around, to everyone. And the point being, don't let her show off her beauty in front of men or spend her time talking with the women. So don't even let her talk to other women. And the point is right here in 13. Women hurt other women just as moths damage clothing. So you don't let them talk to other women, because women will do damage to them. Like how moths do clothing, moths eat away at clothing. Moths ruin clothes. And the same thing with other women. Your women hanging out with all these other women, they getting them all into their heads or whatever. You can picture the women today. You might have a woman or had a woman in the past, and then her friends, talking to her. "Oh, girl, you don't need him. That man ain't no good. He ain't got no job. He ain't making no 100K, nothing like that. He ain't got no career. He gotta have this or that. He gotta have a nice car. You got to get yourself a good man. The man you got right now, they even, or other ways they do that. That's just one aspect. But other ways they eat at each other is by telling them, they lie to each other. Here it is. You come stepping out the house looking terrible, looking tacky. You got a fucked up haircut, whatever like that. And then the women will tell him, "Girl, that looks good on you. Girl, you look good." And meanwhile, you lying your fucking ass off. But hey, these women are like moths to each other. So again, starting at verse 12, this is Sirach chapter 42 and verse 12 in the GNT. Don't let her show off her beauty in front of men or spend her time talking with the women. Women hurt other women just as moths damage clothing. So women hurt other women like moths damage clothing. Completely ruin a women hanging out with these other women, to get in these, feedback groups, these feedback loop circle groups, whatever, where they're telling each other, lying to each other, and the next thing you know, these women are completely destroyed, completely gone out of their mind, no redeeming them. This is misogyny in the Wiktionary.org, and this is I'm just gonna get to the point. So it's literally miso means to hate, and gune means woman. So it's just woman hate. And most of us dudes, we hate the women of today. We hate the women of this society. We don't actually hate women. We, y'all. But anyway, and this is just a quote I found from Muhammad Ali because I was looking up truth in comedy, because the next quote I'm going to bring up is very truthful, but it's written by a comedian or a satirist, and those guys, truth is often found, or truth is often told through comedy, you know and the Apostle Gabar often goes into comedy or comida, meaning to eat. Matter of fact, I'm going to read this real quick and I'm going to go to it. And this is a quote from Muhammad Ali. Comedy is a funny way of being serious. So a comedy, you can tell somebody something very serious in a funny way. Dave Chappelle is good at that. Richard Pryor is good at that. He's telling you some real serious shit, but because of how he says it or whatever, it's funny. And you think about it, oh, that's true. Like, so comedy is a funny way of being serious. My way of joking is to tell the truth. That's the funniest joke in the world. So telling the truth, the truth can hurt you, but it can also be funny. So let me look at this up real quick. Comedy. This is oh, I spelled it wrong. Comedy etymology. So let's see here. You know what? That's all right. I'll just come back to this. I'll I'll have to look at this later. So the quote I was looking at, this is from H.L. Minchkin or Min, yeah, Minchkin. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, but I looked at a few of his quotes or whatever. He was like a kind of I guess what would be considered a comedian back in the 1800s, and he died in the 1950s. But he has this quote from him: "A misogynist is a man who hates women as much as women hate one another." So a misogynist is a man who hates women as much as women hate one another, and that's true, because women really hate each other. They're really jealous of one another. They man, they're vicious to one another, like how it says, "A moth to clothing." So this is First Samuel chapter 1 and verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and Ephrathite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah, Slacket, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. So here it is, Peninnah, her womb was open. She was able to have children, but Hannah, her womb was closed. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests, were there. And when the time of Elkanah, when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave Peninnah, his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had shut up her womb. So her womb was closed, but Peninnah was able to have children. And her adversary also provoked her sore. Now this is, speaking of Hannah's adversary, and her adversary was Peninnah. So this was, Satan. Like matter of fact, I think that's Tazarah. Never mind. Or even here, Tazarah 86869, which I didn't notice said this. This is Tazarah. It says a female rival, an adversary, an affliction, distress, tribulation. So a vexer, a rival wife. So this Peninnah was a rival to Hannah. Even though they had the same husband, they received a portion and everything. So Peninnah was just vexing her because Hannah couldn't have children. And in the ancient world, if you can't have children, you pretty much, will be considered, worthless or whatever. But here Peninnah is just rubbing that in her face. First Samuel chapter 1 and verse 6. And her adversary also provoked her sore for to make her fret, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had shut up her womb. So let's look at this word for fret. This is H7481, to tumble, to be violently agitated, to irritate with anger, so to cause to tremble. So she was irritating her. She was getting on her nerves, probably saying all kinds of things, just mean. Verse 7, and as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. So every year they went up, here it is, she's agitating her, she's teasing her, doing all kinds of things. She's eating at her like a moth. She's just eating away at her, to where she's not eating anymore. She's upset. She's crying. What man is just gonna do this to his wife that he loves and cares about? Because he didn't even tell you. Verse 8. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou, and why eatest thou not, and why is thy heart grieved? So he's like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? What's wrong? Why are you not eating? Why are you crying? Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou, and why eatest thou not, and why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So it's like, am I not better? Like, don't I treat you good? I don't want, And let me see, verse 9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai of hosts, or she would have said at this time, O Yahweh of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. So this is what Hannah was praying, that she could have children. She's making it her prayers to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai so she can, be relieved from her enemy. And she's weeping at this time. She's pouring out her heart to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And it came to pass, as she continued praying before Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. And I'll continue reading. And Eli said unto her, How long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah answered and said, No, my lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So she's pouring out her soul. She's emptying out everything to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the power of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. And she said, Let thine handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. So, after she prayed, Eli, said, Hey, may the Lord, grant you your petition. May he answer your prayers. And I'm gonna jump down. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to jump down. I'm going to keep reading. This is 1 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 19. And they rose up in the morning early and worshiped before Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and returned and came to their house in Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai remembered her. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai heard her prayers. He remembered. So what did he do? He opened her womb. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked him of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai the yearly sacrifice and his vow. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai gave her a son, the firstborn, which was Samuel, which became, one of the greatest prophets in all of Israel. And she didn't go up because she didn't go up until Samuel was weaned, because she was gonna give him as an offering. So she that's part of her vow. She's gonna give him over to be Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So she would, she after a while she gave him to Eli. But let me see here. I think it's in the second chapter. But the point being, and there's other examples, but the point being is that women hate other women. And Peninnah, she hated Hannah, and they had this, she was ruthlessly, teasing her to the point where she wasn't eating, or she was just crying. She was just ruthless with her, eating away at her like a moth. So let me read this again. This is Sirach chapter 42 and verse 13 in the GNT. Women hurt other women just as moths damage clothing. And there's plenty of other scriptures and accounts, like with Leah and Rachel. You know, but this is just a real life saying. So women hurt other women just as moths damage clothing. So hey, what Penina was doing was hurting Hannah, and it was eating away at her to the point where she wasn't eating. Like I said, completely destroying her. So I'm gonna look at this quote again. A misogynist is a man who hates women as much as women hate one another, and that's H.L. Mencken. And just to close this out, I didn't have too many precepts. You can go on and on, but I just put in here "women hate women" in Google, and it's bringing up article, stuff from Reddit. You can read in the forums, article from LinkedIn, Quora. Plenty of people asking this question. So it's you that hate each other. But that's pretty much it. May Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 the rest of your day. Shalom.